Erik, so we managed to get the win. What's your thoughts on the game?
Good start of the game. First 30 minutes, really well done. A couple of chances against a compact opponent. It's not that easy. But then we make a mistake, and then 10 minutes we're really bad. And it cannot happen. We have to take the responsibility by first not giving goals in such manner away, and then deal with it. Stay composed, keep doing, stick to the plan, keep positioning, keep in position, in your position, let the ball pass them around and not do stupid things like we did.
Now, first time facing Omonia, they seemed like tougher opposition than expected. The atmosphere really helped them, do you think?
Yeah, but you get them alive when you make a mistake like we did in the first half. When you get the first goal, life is much more easier.
Now, the squad as a whole is extremely strong, but the instant impact from the substitutes was incredible to see. Rashford scoring within 7 minutes, Martial scoring seconds and they came on. It's really pleasing to see from your squad, isn't it?
Yes. First of all, we need more runs. So more movement behind. That was the first thing, and the second was the subs. They had really an impact on the score, so I'm really happy, and for Marcus and for Anton, that they came in. But also Luke, I have to say, they had an impact on the game. The tempo got high, there were more movement, and much more effectiveness to the goal.
It's a very valuable win, this in the Europa League, isn't it?
Yeah, clear. They give us a better position in the group. We have to win this group, that's also clear.
Now we face Everton on Sunday. Now, between now and then, what do you want to see the team working hard in training?
We don't have so many moments in training, but it's clear. There was the warm-up. Sunday we have to be ready for a fight, for a battle there, and it's about intensity. That has to be much more, let's say, that has to be really improved. When you compare that with last Sunday in City, I think that was the main lesson for us. We have to bring a much more intensity in the games if we want to win games like games against City. But Everton is the same, and that is going to be a really hard battle, but we have to be ready for that.
And finally, 1,100 away fans here tonight, a win for them. You're hoping to get another win for the next set of away fans on Sunday, aren't you?
Yeah, clear. We always get a big support, and as you say, 1,100 fans are supporting us here, coming over from UK. A lot of fans here in Cyprus. From Manchester United, you want to give them the best performance, and there were stages in the game. I think they have seen a good Manchester United, but also some development to make. If we learn again such lessons, then we can be successful, and that is what we have to do.
Well, thank you very much and well done on the win.
Thank you.
Diogo, so a valuable win. How did you find it?
We knew that we would come to a tough place to play. I think we started well first 35 minutes, really good. Then after we conceded a goal, I think we could take a little bit more control. We conceded some counter-attacks and some, especially corners that we should have avoided. But I think at the end, good reaction second half. We came with intensity. We tried to play as well. Very good. The subs made a difference today. But in the end, 3 points. It's what matters. That's why we came here, and we go happy to home.
Now, it's the first time that we came up against Omonia. They became tougher opponents, really. How did you find them?
Yeah, I mean, we knew that with the fans, good atmosphere as well for them. They would get motivated to play against us as well. We had to match at least the desire, the passion to win the game, and I think the overall we did it, but we could control a little bit more the game. We had some stages in the game that we could have controlled a little bit more, especially towards the end. But I think we fight until the end for the 3 points, and it's well deserved for us.
Now, you touched on the substitutes before. Now, instant impact, like you said, and it's great to know that you can rely on your bench, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we want to build long term is a squad. We are not 11 players. We have a lot more quality on the bench, and this shows to the manager that they want to play as well, which I think is perfect for us. We want more of that. We want more of this. It will give us more as a team, and for the future, I think will benefit us.
Thank you very much, and well done.
Career goal tonight, Anthony Martial as well, so a bit of a milestone for him. You talked about the fact that there were mistakes for the goals conceded. And Omonia came close when the game was at 2-1 to equalising through Bruno. And if there was anyone who you'd expect to put this away in the Cypriot team, it would be him, because he's their top scorer.
Yeah,
and
he played well as well. Again, it's just so easy. United just looks so easy to break through and onto the back four. I don't think one-on-one defensive they're good enough, and he should score really. He'll be looking to try and lift it over the goalkeeper there, and just doesn't get enough on the ball. And if they get to 2-2, you never know, it could have gone either way, because again they scored after that as well. So United were, as much as they created chances at the other end, they were a little bit lucky as well. Yeah,
well, we thought that at 3-1, Marcus Rashford's goal meant it was game over. He's now equalled his tally for the whole of last season, scoring 5 goals in his first 8 appearances in this campaign. He only scored 5 in 32 all of last season, albeit a lot of those were as a substitute. But at this point, we thought game over.
But you know what? They linked up really well, Marcus and Cristiano. Marcus is great running with the ball, and it's a really, actually good run from Cristiano. And it's nice to see them linking up. Oftentimes we see them both having shots and taking shots. I think they can link up together with Martial. That could be a great partnership, with Martial and Marcus and maybe Cristiano through the middle, because they can play wide. But it's nice to see Marcus being really positive, because I think when Marcus runs with the ball, he's actually almost impossible to play against. He's quick and he's strong. He's a good striker of the ball. So with Martial and Cristiano, I'm Scholesy. I think there's options there to be positive about.
Could you see that as the front three going forward?
I can on Sunday, yeah. I think the impression that the 2 subs have made tonight with Cristiano as well. There are a lot of games Cristiano will be able to play, and I think Everton could be one of them. It's not a massive pitch. You won't have to be sprinting out everywhere, working the channels. When he's got 2 wide lads who have got goals in them, I think the 2 wide lads that played today, Sancho and Antony, look, I know Antony scored on Sunday, but I think Martial and Rashford would be more dangerous. I think they've got a little bit more about them. They can go either way. They're quick. Defence will be frightened to death of them. And Cristiano, okay, he had a lot of chances tonight. It didn't quite work for him. It wasn't quite his night. But that won't happen for long with Cristiano. If he gets chances Sunday, he will score.
Well, as positive as they were going forward, as we've spoken about, they then did get another goal back in the game, and it was a first senior goal for Panagiotou for Omonia. At this point, are you in any kind of concern that Man United are not going to come away with the victory, Owen?
Well, you just can't turn over the ball, Jules, in a game like that, in that position. Sloppy. It's a fantastic finish, by the way. Both goals were exceptional finishes, but you see, I think that's what Marcus alluded to, the mistakes. Turnover possession in midfield. In Europe, Jules, that's almost a guarantee. That's a goal. You turn over it in there, as they did, and you get punished. So I think that's what you got to tidy up, those mistakes which you don't need. But you have to credit the 2 finishes. They were very, very good. OK, well, lots of credit going to Omonia. Let's hear from their manager now, Neil Lennon.
Neil, came very close, but it just wasn't to be tonight.
Yeah, listen, we rode our luck a lot of times, Danny, so, it was a great game. We kept ourselves in the game, whether it be good goalkeeping or United missing good chances. And to score 2 goals against them was probably more than I could have imagined. I didn't think until we scored we believed in ourselves, really, and then it gave us something to hold on to. They got 2 quick-fire goals, but we had chances at 2-1 to get level. The 3rd goal has killed us, but, on the balance of play, United thoroughly deserved to win.
I was going to say that the first goal taken in the lead did seem to give your side belief. Is that something that you can take into next week at Old Trafford as well? It's going to be a different game again, but listen, they've seen them up close and they know how good they are and they know maybe what their weaknesses are. It's a hell of a long shot to get something out of the game, but we'll go there and give everything we've got. It was a big night for us, and some of the players stood up really well. Look, you said yesterday that after both of the group games so far, you'd had regrets. Do you have regrets tonight?
I think some of them will, yeah. I think some of them will. The second goal, we're too open from right centre-half to middle centre-half. And that was at a crucial point of the game. And then Bruno misses a great chance with the lob to get us back in it. And, when you're feeding off scraps at times, you've got to make them count. But, there's things we could do better in terms of ball retention at times. But, listen, the gulf between the 2 teams is huge, and we know that. But we made a game of it. And to get 2 goals, like I say, is fantastic.
Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Danny. Cheers.
He's pleased with what he's seen out there, despite the defeat in the end, Owen. But how much confidence will the players take from scoring 2 goals against Manchester United and heading into Old Trafford next week?
Yeah, I thought he nailed that, actually, because he thought they didn't really believe until they scored. And then once they scored, they started to get a bit more belief. Scholes, you mentioned half-time, they started to have a bit more possession, be a bit more positive. And I think, in a way, of course, they would have preferred to get a result. But I think those players would be delighted the fact they scored a couple of goals, had another good opportunity, which they could have taken with the lob, and caused United problems, really, without much of the ball. You know, Neil mentioned it there. You know, United dominated the game and deserved to win. But they posed a threat, and I think he'd be happy with that.
Erik, congratulations. Got the result that you wanted this evening. What did you think of your side's performance?
I think we started well, couple of chances, and then unnecessary down. Mistake cannot happen. We have to take responsibility there. But then a really bad 10 minutes, and we have to learn from that.
You talked about dealing with the atmosphere and the ambience. Conceding in that manner when you did, after having such a good first 35 minutes, is that the worst possible time to do it? It gave this crowd a real lift.
Yeah, so it is. You let the crowd get alive, and you have to avoid that, and we know that all.
The response that you got after half-time seemed really impressive. What did you say to them at half-time in the dressing room? What did you try to change?
Yeah, some couple of things, especially more runs, and we were too static. And we have to make the opposite movement to get behind. And that's why also we make 2 subs in that time, and they had really an impact.
Is that what you were looking for, and particularly from Marcus? He seemed very sharp when he came on.
Yeah, I think, and Luke and Marcus, definitely. But also Anthony Martial, of course, with his 2-1. I think the subs had really an impact today. And that is really good. That makes the team stronger.
And on Anthony Martial, obviously he's working his way back from fitness, but if he's playing the way that he did when he came on Sunday and also this evening, how important a piece could he be for you?
We have already seen that in pre-season. It was a really big disappointment for this team, for me, when he got injured in the last 10 minutes against Atletico Madrid. So we missed him in the first couple of weeks, and that also had an effect on our team performance.
Bruno Fernandes talked about rebuilding the confidence maybe after Sunday, after what that may have done to the players. Results like tonight, is that the first step, stacking these kind of results?
Yeah, definitely. But it has to be only warm-up. Sunday, we have to, especially there, we have to react. We have to give the best performance we have, and we have to prepare that now.
Appreciate your time. Well done tonight.
They got the win tonight, but all the attention now does turn to that game at Goodison Park on Sunday, doesn't it? Have you seen enough from the performance tonight to take confidence into that game?
No. Being honest, I haven't. I think he was right there what he said about the wingers being static. I think Sancho never really runs in behind. He's a player who needs somebody to play with. He needs a fast left-back if he's playing on the left-hand side. He needs a centre-forward to link with. He hasn't really got that. I think Anthony on the other side as well doesn't run in behind. He seems to be a little bit of a one-trick pony. He's always cutting inside, passing back to the full-back or having a shot, and I think he needs to develop a little bit more. It's still early days for him, we know that. But I'd be more worried about the midfield area. I think they look too open at times tonight. I think Casemiro coming in, yes, he brings control, he brings composure, hasn't really got the legs to play there on his own. I think on Sunday, if Casemiro plays, they'll have to play someone with him, someone right next to him, whether that's a Fred or a McTominay. He's played with Fred with Brazil. I think they've got a really good record together. Yeah. We were talking before. Because the back four, for me, need protecting. I think once you get at them 2 centre-halves and the full-backs, Malassi came off at half-time. That may be a sign that Luke Shaw will play on Sunday. I think they're vulnerable. I don't think they're great one-on-one defending. I think Everton are a much better team than we've seen the opposition tonight. And if they get them type of chances, you'd expect them to score.
Who do you think should start in midfield on Sunday then, Owen? Because after the Derby defeat, all the questions were being asked about why you've got a player worth that amount of money sat on the bench in Casemiro. But after what you've seen tonight, has he done enough to start Sunday?
Well, you've got to give him a chance to play, Jules. You know, you spend a lot of money on him. The guy's won 5 Champions Leagues. You know, he can be a great asset to the team. So I'm sure he'll get a run of games. I think he needs it. And I'm sure he'll play on the weekend. The question is, it's not who plays in the midfield. It's what are your front three? Depending on what your front three are, then you need to dictate your midfield. If you go with Martial, Ronaldo and Rashford, then I think you need two defensive midfield players in there with one, whether Eriksen or Bruno. If you play, depending on who the front three are, then maybe you can play two number 10s. Scholesy made the point. They should dominate the ball at Goodison, because they're better than Everton in possession. So I think he's got options now, and I think having Martial back gives him something different. I could see that front three that finished the game. I could see them starting the game, but I'm sure Casemiro will play. Just the question is who plays with him.
Who's your front three for Sunday?
Yeah, I'd go with that front three. I think at the minute they'll probably be the most dangerous. As I said, there's games for Cristiano. I think Sunday could be a game for him. Martial and Rashford, I think they picked themselves after tonight. They made such a difference in that second half. Again, I keep coming back to the midfield area. I think that's the big question. I think if Casemiro plays, he definitely needs somebody next to him. Look, he played for Real Madrid for so many years. He played in the three all the time. Two brilliant players next to him. Now, he needs help. He hasn't got the greatest of legs, but what he does bring is control, composure, good passing, nice relaxed nature about him, almost as a captain type character. He'll need Fred or McTominay with him. He'll need one of them with him. The interesting thing might be Bruno and Eriksen, really, what he does with that, because he brought Bruno off after, I don't know how long, after an hour. He's been a little bit ineffective over the last 3 or 4 weeks, so maybe it'll be Casemiro, Fred, McTominay, and possibly Eriksen. It might be a time for Bruno to have a little bit of a rest on Sunday.